All right, so I'm at Dante's Kitchen, and
I'm Neil McClure, General
Neil
Manager,
McClure.
Owner. How are you?
Oh, very cool, very cool. Neil, you opened in November of '07.
No, we originally opened in October of 2000.
Wow.
And after the storm, we came back November 5th, as soon as power was back on.
As soon as power was back on,
Within
you
6
reopened.
days.
Within 6 days. Very good. And what have you experienced? I mean, in coming back, tourism suffered a great hit.
Big time, and we felt it mostly from, let's say, the end of graduation, like the end of May of '06 until about, I'd say until about August of '07.
Really?
It was the hardest stretch we've had since September 11th, which nearly closed a lot of restaurants down here because people quit traveling for a little while.
Wow.
But this was a bigger deal and hurt tourism even more. We were lucky in the fact that we've got a great local reputation, and all of my locals were coming in a lot. A lot of them didn't have kitchens, so they were eating out more, so that helped.
Wow.
Tourism-wise, they didn't come back right away. They are now, and I think they're coming back harder now than ever.
So your business still is more locals?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean, this time of year, we're certainly tourist-driven, just like anybody else in the city. But the meat of my business is local.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
This is the time of year where that business goes through the roof because there's so many people in town.
Yeah. How do you handle advertising your business? I mean,
Word of mouth mostly.
Really?
Yeah, I do a little bit in a couple of small publications that go to some hotels.
Okay.
My own internet.
Okay.
Nothing substantial. My advertising expenditures last year were under 1,000.
Wow.
Which is abnormal for a restaurant, and we could probably generate some more business with some advertising, but we don't. We choose to just rely on the fact that I've got one of the best chefs around.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Who's that?
His name's Emmanuel Loubier, also known as E-Man.
E-Man? Very good. But the word of mouth throughout town is
This city in
just
particular, most restaurants that really succeed rely on the word of mouth. It's unlike any other city I've ever lived in, restaurant culture-wise. Mostly, when I lived in Portland, the restaurants I lived were up there advertised constantly. Pensacola, Atlanta, Arizona. I mean, it's been the same wherever I've been, except for here.
Yeah.
Here, it's almost like a badge of honor to not put any ads out.
Really?
Yeah, and I've noticed that since I moved here in the early '90s, and quite a few restaurants do advertise, and some of the bigger houses that can seat 800 to 1,000 people have to.
I've never heard of that before. And a badge of honor to not put out advertisement. That is really
That's ego talking. That's more ego than anything.
What hurts? What hurts the city? I mean, you've had a lot of media coverage on crime.
Corruption.
Corruption, absolutely.
Everything our mayor says, which is taken out of context a lot of times and over-exaggerated because our local media even has decided, you know what, we can't salvage anything out of him, and I think that's a little ridiculous. Because he has done some real good for the city.
Yeah.
It's easier to focus on the negative. And right now there's still a lot of negativity in the city because of that. But we are progressing past that. The people who are moving back or not moving back, who are moving here for the first time are very community driven and are really getting their hands in and trying to help us make changes. The storm was an awakening politically. Everybody's really starting to care about every little detail from City Hall to the state legislature. They're really becoming involved, whereas before, New Orleans is the big easy, laissez-faire, you know, just whatever, yeah, Boudreaux's going to get his money, great. We're not accepting that anymore, and that's going to help the city big time in the long run.
All right. Tell me about the Rust and Peach Mojito.
Last summer, Chef just woke up. It's not that he woke up and it was a sudden revelation, but we started making a very concerted effort to go everything possible that we can get local. Sustainable farming techniques, organic stuff, using what is here, because Louisiana produces some of the best produce in the country. I mean, the seasons aren't as long for some things. I can't get asparagus in the middle of winter. I could, but it's from Peru.
Yeah.
And I don't want to serve Peruvian asparagus when I can serve Plaquemines Parish cauliflower instead. That is, holy cow, if you ever had cauliflower like that before. He started working with some other chefs, and they've started, it doesn't have a title yet, but we're calling it the Farmer Chef Connection, where we're getting local farmers on board to start growing things. Rather than a field full of cabbage, they're going to start growing us arugula and making twice as much as they were before, and giving us a product that's fresher, tastier, and better for the whole planet, because I'm not shipping it from California or wherever.
True. Awesome.
The Rust and Peach Mojito came out of that. We got a case of peaches in, and we're like, well, what can we do with peaches? Let's start canning them. We canned 200-something jars of them, and I had to come up with a drink. And we already kind of liked mojitos here, and it seemed like an easy fit. So there it was.
Pretty good.
Yeah.